Exactly 1 month ago, I put $6,000 into pancakeswap's auto cake as an experiment to see what kind of money passively I could make on the platform and to really test it out and see if it was a legit way to bring in passive income. Before that, I did a week-long experiment where I stuck a couple $1,000s in, tested it for a week just to get a kind of feel for pancakeswap, and the test was a success, but I wanted to put more money in and give it a little bit longer amount of time to really see what kind of results I could get. If you're on TikTok at all, you've probably seen like a million videos on pancakeswap's auto cake, people talking about how it's like the holy grail of making passive income with crypto. I had seen a bunch of those videos and I really wanted to test for myself if pancakeswap was legit or if they were just figuring out a way to kind of smudge the numbers and, give off this illusion that they were getting a lot of profits, but in reality, it was all smoke and mirrors. With my original experiment, I started out with $1,700. I left it in there for 6 days and I made around $21, which honestly kind of seems underwhelming because it's only $21, but you got to keep in mind, I only left it in there for 6 days and made $21. So that's not really a good, clear, or accurate picture of what kind of passive income you could make on AutoCake. So for the second experiment, I upped the stakes and stuck $6,000 onto AutoCake, and I've left it in there for 1 month, and I actually haven't checked it this entire time. I actually don't know right now, as of recording this, how much it's made. And if you don't know, I'm on a mission to test out all kinds of side hustles, all kinds of ways to build wealth, and then I'm sharing those results with you guys. So let me explain really quickly, what is AutoCake? So pancakeswap released AutoCake a few months ago. It was when the market was really hot, everyone was really excited about crypto. Then of course we had the massive crash. Anyways, pancakeswap has these things called syrup pools. They're basically ways for you to stake your tokens and get a yield from them. The yields are usually pretty high, anywhere from 50 to 80%. The way they're able to do that is the tokens that you're getting a yield in are sponsored, okay? So you have these projects that are new crypto projects. They want to get their tokens out to new users. They will set up a deal with pancakeswap and give them 1 million of their tokens. Those tokens get released through syrup pools for anyone who's staking, and it's a great way for that brand to get their name out there. But the way the AutoCake works is a little bit different, and that is that you're staking cake to get more cake. And that comes from the tokenomics of cake and the way that cake emissions work. Basically, every block, there's a certain amount of cake rewards that go out to different people who are staking in cake. pancakeswap actually had a way to do this before AutoCake came out, but it was just called manual cake. And it was a way that you could stake your cake and earn rewards. And typically those rewards were around 60 to 70% annual yield, which is an amazing, awesome number. And what people were doing is they were going into this manual cake pool, and they would go and they would reinvest their earnings back in to compound the reward. And AutoCake is basically that same principle, but done automatically. So the platform automatically takes your rewards and compounds them up to 288 times per day, which takes the yield from 60 to 70% all the way up to 90 to 100%. And lots of people are super skeptical of this and they're like, well, that's absurd. So there's got to be some kind of crazy catch, like what's the downside to cake? Because if there was no downside, why wouldn't everyone be doing this? So the biggest risk of cake is the price of cake dropping. For example, I put $6,000 in, and if since then the price of cake has dropped to half of the amount it was when I initially invested, my $6,000 would now be worth $3,000, even though I'm still earning cake rewards on the side. And even though I still have the same amount of cake, I have less spending power with that cake. On the other hand, that same risk could also be an awesome incentive and reward if the price of cake were to double. So I can initially put in $6,000, and if it's doubled since then my $6,000 is now worth $12,000. Plus, all my rewards and the value tied up in there has also doubled and is worth more. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It is risky, but the reality is any good investment is gonna have risks. Stocks have risks, real estate has risks, crypto has risks. Building wealth is just all about taking the right risks and going out there and making bold moves, because fortune truly does favor the bold. Anyways, now I'm gonna check how much I've made. I'm pretty excited, but also a little bit nervous. So in 1 month, investing $6,000 total just through AutoCake, I've made $470.25. But that's not the full picture, because the price of cake has also gone up in value, meaning my initial $6,000 investment is now also worth more on top of the extra cake I've earned. So in total, in 1 month. I've actually made $1,889 in just 1 month with $1,600. That's kind of insane and definitely way better than I had hoped for. I was kind of thinking I would end up with like $300 or maybe at the higher end $700, but I definitely wasn't expecting $1,800, which is like, I mean, that's some people's full-time income from a $6,000 investment. I'm thinking just right now that I'm gonna put more money into Cake and just kind of see what happens over this next month. I might raise it up to like $10,000 and see if I can get some even crazier results. It kind of feels like the crypto market's on an uptrend. We're about 3 days away from a golden cross, and it could get pretty crazy if the prices were to, really jump. My $10,000 could turn into like $50,000. Like, who knows how high it could go. So, question on everyone's mind right now, is now a good time to get into pancakeswap? Because basically, this entire strategy depends on the price of Cake either staying the same or going up. And we gotta really ask ourselves, is Cake a good project to own? Because if it's not a good project to own, then regardless of if you think it's gonna go up in the next, few months or not, I would still stay away from it, because if it's a sketchy project, you really just don't want to be involved with sketchy projects in the crypto space, because bad things happen when you get involved in those kind of projects. So is pancakeswap a good project? Where is it going from here? And also at the end of this, I'm going to give you my price prediction on what I think pancakeswap's Cake could get up to in the next 5 years. First up, pancakeswap is already just massive. Okay, if you've never heard of it before, that's kind of surprising because it already has huge adoption. There's already 1.7 million people using the platform. It's not really a smaller project anymore. It's pretty mainstream at this point. A couple of things that I've really noticed about pancakeswap is they consistently lead the space with kind of, creative and innovative ideas for automated market makers. You have other projects like Uniswap, QuickSwap, 1inch Exchange, SushiSwap, which are all good. They're all amazing. But pancakeswap definitely is its own unique thing. And I've noticed a lot of these other exchanges are starting to copy what pancakeswap is doing because it's just so different and unique. On top of that, I would consider them probably the best at branding and marketing. A lot of the automated market makers are actually really horrible when it comes to branding and marketing. And you just compare, pancakeswap to QuickSwap, and you can see like there's definitely some, major brand differences, and pancakeswap is crushing it where, QuickSwap isn't doing as good. pancakeswap, as far as fees goes, pretty much runs circles around most of the mainstream automated market makers. Their fees are like cents. Where if you go on 1inch or Uniswap, you're looking at fees as high as, a couple $100 to make a trade. And pancakeswap has everything from an exchange to farms to pools to lotteries, IFOs, team battles, NFTs. I mean, they're just head and shoulders utilizing their platform on a whole different level compared to other automated market makers. So among automated market makers, they are really, really crushing it. So then the obvious next question would be, well, who cares about automated market makers? Are they here to stay? Are they actually important? Or are they just like a fad that's going along with, this crypto bull run that won't even be around in a few years? Automated market makers really took off after Binance basically got banned from the US. They kind of self-banned themselves, but they said, hey, we're closing doors to US citizens. We're gonna launch a US exchange later in the year. And then decentralized exchanges and automated market makers got a lot of attention because there was a lot of US investors who lost overnight access to all the projects on Binance, and we're trying to figure out a way to access these projects again. For one, to sell what they had, but for two, to buy new projects they were excited about. And so there was originally this idea for decentralized exchanges that were really similar to Binance, where you would put in your trades, there'd be an order book and all of that. And then automated market makers seemingly came out of nowhere and really just started to take over the industry, where suddenly everyone liked using them because they were just so convenient. The trades were instantaneous, and automated market makers really gave rise to what we know as DeFi today. The coolest thing about automated market makers is where Binance has all this liability with, operating an exchange in the US, and they face all this, regulation and all these hurdles and all this pressure from the government. Automated market makers are decentralized. They don't have like a big corporate structure for the government to really even go after. And there's no CEO or there's no head of the company where, you know, they could be facing prison time or, you know, any sort of fees or anything like that, because they're automated and they're not controlled by any one person. A lot of them just use governance with their governance tokens to manage the entire system, to get out upgrades and all of that. On top of that, automated market makers aren't ever holding your funds. You're always holding and, you know, maintaining your own funds. So even if the government could go after them, it'd be really difficult because they're not actually holding anyone's funds. All that put together means there's no KYC, it's cross-border, it's super convenient, super easy, and really just seems like the next step and the next evolution when it comes to crypto exchanges. So long story short, yeah, I think the next phase in the way that exchanges work is automated market makers, and obviously they can innovate and grow from here. But I would think a lot of these platforms are gonna be at the forefront of those innovations and the forefront of making those changes possible as the future kind of rolls on. So it's clear that, you know, automated market makers are here to stay. It's clear that pancakeswap is absolutely crushing it. But how big could Cake realistically get? So it's kind of hard to say because automated market makers are new. There's nothing really to compare them against. And I don't know how big they could get or what they'll morph into over time. But I can say this, the all-time high market cap for Dogecoin is about 21 times higher than the current market cap for Cake. Cake is insanely popular on social media. It's an insanely popular side hustle. It is constantly trending on TikTok. So I don't think it's very inconceivable that the price of Cake could take off and go up to 21 times higher from where it is currently. And even beyond that, if we really are going into that parabolic rally, prices disconnect from reality when we go into a parabolic rally because everyone thinks you're gonna get rich quick and they just get insane. Really, anything you're gonna hear from me or anyone else is just gonna be an educated guess. Nobody really knows. And one rule about amazing crypto projects is they are constantly surpassing everyone's expectations. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you wanna see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it. That way you're actually notified when I release videos. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I literally try to go through every single question and answer them. I answer a ridiculous amount of comments, so literally any question you have, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you guys later.